Hello dear students. I wish a very fine morning to each one of you, and I am pleased to welcome you again for this class. So we shall be continuing the same topic that we have been discussing for a couple of lectures now, and it is the change of narration. So in the previous classes we learned about how a speech is changed from direct to indirect sentences and what are the things that have a part to play there. Some of the points I discussed there in the previous class were the first one, you should look at the tense form of the reporting verb and then the sentence of the reported speech means what category of the sentence does it belong to, whether it is an exclamatory one, or it is an imperative, it is an exclamatory or an interrogative one. So we discussed some of the sentences belonging to the assertive and interrogative category. There I told you in an assertive sentence, and I discussed about some points, the 6 points in particular there were, you need to keep in your mind while you are changing the narration. And the first was the change of structure. Change of structure means you just remove the inverted commas while you change the speech from direct to indirect one, and its structure gets changed. You don't put it the same way as it has been there in the direct speech. Then you have the addition of a connector there, a conjunction in between to join the two separate parts. So in an assertive or declarative sentence, you will put a connector like that there, and that is also used in case of exclamatory sentences and in case of imperative ones too. So in case of the interrogative sentences, there we learned you have two kinds of the interrogative sentences. The first, which begins with the WH word, it means that will require a statement in response to the question, and a question that begins with any of the helping verbs, and that answer or that question can be answered in just two options also, that is yes or no. So such questions which begin with a with a helping verb do require a conjunction or a connector in between, that is if or whether. So now we shall be discussing about some of the imperative kinds. As you are aware of this, that an imperative sentence is the one which has an order, a request, a command or blessing, or a suggestion, an advice. Okay? So let me write down a sentence here that belongs to the imperative category. The captain said. One more thing, there is another kind of sentences I have told you somewhere in the previous lecture, I suppose, that an optative kind of sentence also you have, and that has particularly a wish, a blessing, a pray, or a curse. If you segregate it from the imperative one, it will be a different kind of sentence or a different category. An imperative one will have an order, a request, a command, a suggestion, or an advice. An optative sentence will contain a kind of blessing, a curse, or a wish, or a prayer. Now, a sentence here is like the captain said, staying in the line. So what do you see here? What kind of expression does it contain here? It of course belongs to the imperative category, and an imperative sentence also may have separate expressions like an order, a request, a command, or an advice or a suggestion. So it has an order in it. So there will be a change of a reporting verb to. Change of a reporting verb. Here, the captain ordered them to stand in line. So what changes we have made here? The first one, change of structure. We just remove the inverted commas and put it down here with some additions. And ordered also, the change of a reporting verb also appears here. It is in order, so sad will be replaced with this word here. Then to stand in line. So remember one thing in case of the imperative sentences, if it is an affirmative sentence, you will use to plus verb. To go, to stand, to sit. It will be to plus verb. Okay? And if it is a negative sentence, then it will be like not to plus verb. Don't use to before not here. Okay? I asked them not to go there. Not like as I ordered them to not go there or to not to go there. This will be incorrect. You have to put to after not there in case of a negative sentence. And in case of an affirmative one, to will be placed before the verb there. Like I have used it here. Stand is a verb here and to is used before it. Okay? Suppose I put a negative sentence here. The father don't waste your time. This again is an imperative sentence. What does it contain here? Is there an order? Is there a request in this sentence, or is it a suggestion? Or it is an advice? What is it here? It is obviously an advice here. So we will replace this word with a word that will be suitable here for this according to the sense of this reported speech. So it is a suggestion here. Advice, sorry. So it will be as the father. It will be advised now. Like I told you earlier also that if this word has to be used as a noun, there it will be V-I-C-E, advice, like this. This is how you use it as a noun. But if the same word is to be used as a verb, there it becomes S instead of C here. Okay? It becomes advised now. Don't use advised. That will be incorrect. The father advised. Don't put to here now. Advised to the son. Advised the son. Requested the son. Or ordered the son. Okay? Simply, you just need to put this word after that direct object will come there without placing a to there. The father advised the son. Now, remove the inverted commas here and put not here. The father advised the son not to waste his time. I told you in the previous lecture that while you are changing the reported speech from direct to indirect one, the pronouns will change accordingly there. The first person pronoun changes according to the subject of the reporting verb, and the second person pronoun changes according to the object. And must be well acknowledged with what first person and second person or the third person is. Now, first person pronoun is a word that is used for the first person subject. The first person is one who is doing something. If I am speaking to someone, I will be the first person because I am speaking. And the one who is listening to me will be the second person. And the one who is being discussed about here, I am talking about someone, I am talking to you, and talking about someone who will be the third person. Either the first person I am talking here, you will be the second person because you are listening, and the one who I am talking about will be the third person. So any word that replaces that person will be a first person pronoun. Okay? First person pronoun changes according to the subject. So where it is the second person pronoun, it will change, or it will align with the second person here. So the son in the reporting verb in direct speech is a third person pronoun. So here again it becomes the third person, that not to waste his time. The father advised the son not to waste his time. Okay, one more sentence here in this category. The teacher said to the students, don't talk in the class. So here, I've seen that in case of imperative sentences, there can be positive sentences, that is affirmative, and there can be negative also. And in case of the affirmative sentence, it can be a command, it can be an order, it can be a request. And in case of the negative sentence, if it is, it can be kind of, prohibition, or you may be forbidding something. To prohibit means to stop someone from doing something, or you are forbidding someone means you are stopping someone from doing a particular thing. So here also in this sentence, there is a kind of prohibition. The teacher does not want the class to talk, and he is prohibiting the class, he is stopping them from some particular action. So here you will replace the word with what? The teacher has seen in the reported speech. This is an imperative sentence, and which sense does it contain here? It is a sense of prohibition, means he is prohibiting, he is stopping them, and he wants them not to talk into class. So the teacher forbade. This is in the past subjunctive, so it will be forbade. Forbid, it is in the present or the basic form. Forbade, it is in the past form, and its past participle form or the third form is forbidden. The teacher forbade the student the students to talk in the class. Okay, then one more sentence. He said to me, don't smoke here. Now look at this sentence here in the reported speech and find out which category does it belong to, or which sense does it possess here. Is it an order, is it a request, or is it an advice here? So, most appropriately it can be an advice. So he advised me. Advised me. Again, this is a negative sentence, so it can be written as not to smoke. Here changes into the. Like I told you already, that if it is a negative sentence, you must put not before a to there, and then you use verb. Don't put to after not. He advised me not to smoke there. Now if I make just a slight change in this sentence, Now what expressions does it contain now? It is not in advice now. It, for the obvious reasons, becomes a request. Since you have a word here, please, and can you identify easily that it is a request? So reporting verb will be replaced with the word accordingly here. He requested me not to smoke. It will be a full stop again, because in case of the change of narration, while you are changing the sentence from direct to indirect one, the purpose there is only to keep a sentence in the assertive sense. Means there will be only a full stop at the end of an assertive sentence. Okay? Now, another category after this imperative one, the subcategory of this sentence is the optative one. So, optative has a wish, a blessing, and it has a curse or it has a prayer. Suppose I have a sentence here. No one man's had to make you live long. So this is obviously an optative sentence, and it has a blessing. He is blessing me with something, and he is blessing for a long life, or yeah. So here in this sentence, while you change it into the indirect one, you will put just as old man blessed me, or the old man prayed for me. That I might. Why do you use I before might here? Why can't I use this one before the pronoun here? Because there will be an inversion then. So you can't have an inversion in case of the indirect speech. This has been told to you many a times before. I might live long. So in case of the imperative sentences or optative one, here also you'll find a connector. That here, like you have in case of the assertive or declarative sentences, and may here is changed into might, and you will have no inversion here, so you will put the subject before the verb here to avoid the inversion and to avoid its sense being in an interrogative one or being in some other kind of the expressions like exclamatory or any of the other things. So it must be put only into the assertive sense. That is why we avoid inversion in case of the indirect speech. So put the subject first, and after that put the modal there or the helping verb, whatever it is, and change it into the past form. May changes into might, can changes into could, will changes into would, and shall changes into should. Will and shall. Shall is used as should when you are changing the speech from direct to indirect. And if you are using it usually in the usual terms, shall, should. In some of the sentences, should is not used as the past of shall. There it is used in some other sense for some suggestion. You should come to school tomorrow. There is a suggestion for someone, and you must means there is something expressed there is upon this sentence that it is quite mandatory for you to come here. I use must here. So shall signifies only a tense in the future one. So there should has altogether a different meaning. But in case of change of narration, when you find shall used in direct speech, then it will be replaced with should. And should there only functions as the past form of shall. It doesn't signify any suggestions here or any advice, like it does when it is used as a modal or a helping verb. So then again, then some kinds of he said, may you failing that. This again belongs to an operative category and it has, of course, a curse in it. Curse. Curse means not good wishes for someone, but when you are expecting some bad thing to happen to someone, and it is a curse. He is wishing for some bad thing to happen to you. So he said, may you fail in exam. So it is a curse. So it will be, he cursed me that so it is understood that he is talking to me. So I have put the first person objective pronoun here. He cursed me that so may will be changed into might. Again, to avoid the inversion here, you have to put the subject first, you change it into I, and then we use may in its past form. That I might fail in exam. Okay. Now we shall be discussing some statements in the exclamatory one, and an exclamatory sentence contains different expressions like that of wonder, surprise, disgust. It can be irritation, or it can be some excitement, it can be joy, it can be sorrow, or it can be gloom or grief also. So here he said, what a fine speech he delivered. So this is an exclamatory sentence, and out of the exclamatory sentence you need to identify them, whether it is a sense of surprise, whether it contains some wonder, or it has some irritation, or it has some joy or sorrow or grief. So here it obviously has a sense of wonder here, or a surprise. So they said, what a fine speech he delivered. So this again changes according to the sense or the expression of this reported speech. Now it will be, they explained. In case of the exclamatory sentences, you use exclaimed, and then what kind of exclamation it was. Exclaimed with joy, exclaimed with sorrow, exclaimed with disgust, or exclaimed with wonder, or exclaimed with excitement. So exclamation may be of different kinds here. So like here in this sentence, it is wonder, exclaimed with wonder. Again you will put a connector here, that. Then he, third person pronoun also already has been mentioned here, so you don't need to change it. Third person pronoun doesn't change, it remains same as it is here. That he, so what is the tense form of this statement? It is past indefinite, so it will get changed into the past perfect. They exclaimed with wonder that he had delivered a very fine speech. Then put a sign, a full stop here, then like it was, then he, so what is the tense form of this statement? It is past indefinite, so it will get changed into the past perfect. He, they exclaimed with wonder that he had delivered a very fine speech. Then put a sign, a full stop here, then like it was, a full stop here, then he, so what is the tense form of this statement? It is past indefinite, so it will get changed into the past perfect. He an exclamatory sentence in direct speech, but when it is changed or converted into the indirect speech, there must be in an assertive sense. So always put a full stop at the end of such statements. Then again, another statement here, he said, alas, my brother is dead. Again an exclamatory sentence, but this time it has quite a different expression and it is an expression of sorrow. So over someone's death we usually have a sense of grief or sorrow. So he sang will be replaced with he exclaimed and exclaimed with what? With sorrow. That his brother is dead. And put a full stop there. I'll write down some sentences here in the indirect speech and you need to convert them into the direct one. My father told me that I Now this is a sentence which is already in indirect speech. If you convert it into the direct speech, it will be written as, my father told me that I had not finished the task that day. So it means it must be an assertive sentence. That is why I have used told. And again, told signifies you that there is a direct object mentioned in case of the reporting verb. So it will be like, my father said to me, put a comma here, then begin the inverted commas and put it into the inverted commas what the father has exactly said. What were the actual words spoken by the father? That was, I changed into what now? My father told me that I had not finished the task that day. It is me who was the second person there in the direct speech because the father was talking to me. Now it is me again who is directing the same thing to you. Okay? So it will be you used here because there I was the second person. So you will use second person pronoun here. And had not it is in the past perfect. So it will be in the present perfect now in direct speech. You have not finished the task. And that day will change into today. And put an inverted comma here and a full stop. Because this is an assertive sentence. My father said to me, you have not finished the task today. And now, when it is changed into indirect speech, it will be like this. My father told me that I had not finished the task that day. And the sentence I mentioned here the king ordered the soldiers not to move forward and to stop where they were. So, it must be an imperative sentence because the reporting verb has been replaced with this word ordered here. So when you change it into the direct speech, it will be as the king said to the soldiers, comma, an inverted comma is taken here, not to move. So it is a negative sentence, so it will begin with don't move forward and stop where they change into you and are changes into were changes into are. The king said to the soldiers, don't move forward and stop where you are. So when you change it into the indirect sentence, so it will be like this I mentioned here. So you need to prioritize such statements. Write down some statements in indirect one and try to change them into the direct speech. And both the way you should be able to convert the sentences, whether changing them from direct to indirect or from indirect to direct ones. So this should be enough for today. See you in the next class with some other topic. Thank you very much.